As a data scientist, my answer is measure everything, right? Give me all of the data you possibly can. But that's not practical for a couple different reasons. The first is cost. It's expensive to make a lot of these measurements. And so while it's important for researchers, particularly because we don't know right now what is the best thing to measure, we're still in this stage of understanding and kind of uncovering a lot of this. So we need to measure everything that we can so that we can reduce the dimensionality of these massive data sets, of this big data that we have, and really zero in on what are the most important things. The other practical consideration is also, again, the burden on the patient. We don't want to have to take out a blood bag's worth of blood from an individual. We'd like to be able to just take a few small blood measurements. I think the ideal kinds of assays and technologies would be a finger prick, for example. But certainly taking a couple vials of blood from a patient, as would be part of routine clinical care every time you go in for a physical or pre-surgery or something like that. I think that's reasonable, and that's really where we're trying to get on the research side, is trying to reduce down the number of measurements we make. And as to your question about which measurement is most important, a lot of that really comes down, I think, to what specifically we're interested in looking at. That's kind of a vague, broad answer. I think it all starts with the genome. The genome contains all of the information that makes each of us unique. On top of that, then we could start to layer on some of these other technologies. The proteome, all of the proteins in the blood, is one of the most important measurements to make because the current functionality and the current capabilities of your body is representative. It's represented in the proteome. So the proteins are the compounds and molecules within your body that actually perform different functions. And so getting a snapshot of what the proteome looks like is really getting a snapshot of the functional state of your blood. A lot of active research has been using metabolomics to great effect. There's been some really outstanding research articles that have come out of ISB recently using the metabolome to uncover and understand what's happening in the gut microbiome. That's some research by Sean Gibbons and Nathan Price and a couple of outstanding postdocs, Tom and Noah. So again, it kind of depends on what you're interested in studying, but I think it all really starts with the genome.